For the South Australian Drink of the Week this week, we have something very special. John Gledhill, welcome back, our official palate of the Adelaide show.
Thank you very much.
John, of course, the brains, the fists, all other parts of the body when it comes to Gledhill vignerons.
Yes.
So we'll put a link to your winery in the show notes too.
Thank you.
But we like borrowing his palate because he's got a nice way of analysing everything. And might I just say, behind the camera tonight, we're very lucky. Anthony Sebastiani from Adelaide Pool Heating, who is a whiskey phobe. No, the opposite. Whiskey aficionado is here because he said, hey, I'm happy to finish the bits of the glass that you don't drink tonight. So isn't that lovely, John?
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Whiskey file, Steve.
A whiskey file, that was the word I was looking for. So what we have for this very special episode, it's the next Chinese year is the year of the snake. So the new year is upon us. There's a very special performance of the Hong Kong String Symphony, which is coming to Adelaide January 31st to celebrate this. But our great friends at the 23rd Street Distillery have put together something very special. It is their Year of the Snake whiskey. A couple of bits of info to set the scene before we unbox this. The barley they've used for this has come from Kangaroo Island.
Okay.
They have done their magic in the old copper stills up there in the Riverland. They're 100 plus years old. And they let it mature in, are you ready for it, 15-year-old Galway Pipe casks.
Quart barrels.
What do you expect this is going to lend to this?
Oh, it'll probably give some aged characters, some butterscotch, some caramel type notes perhaps. Maybe a little bit of smokiness from the barrel, depending on if they've done any work to the barrel after the port was in it and before the whiskey went in.
Yep. Now we've got, for those of you just listening and not watching the video, I've got a bottle of Galway Pipe in my hands. If we smelled this, is that going to give us a heads up as to what's coming or not really?
Potentially, but maybe a little bit of a note.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got that first, that wafting of the portness, which is that condensed sultana. It's raw.
Yeah, it's got a bit of sultana, a bit of caramel.
All right, so look forward to that. I want to unbox this because I've not seen a whiskey boxed like this before. This is top shelf.
It is.
And it's full of red, lots of deep burgundy, lots of gold, traditionally great colours for the Chinese market. How many bottles of this do you think they actually made?
A couple of hundred maybe?
No. Normally, like we're talking tens of thousands of bottles of something. 3,600. That's it. No more. Available Sipify and some select bottle shops around the place. But we're going to open one now. This, I can't wait. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to try and do it with my face to the camera. Oh. So I'm just opening both sides. It feels like a very fancy Thunderbirds, like Thunderbirds where the swimming pool moves back and then up comes the joy. I can't even see. Let me have a look. Look at that.
Oh, wow. That looks fantastic.
That is superb. It's got a nice little greeting card in an envelope there. Look at the bottle. This presentation is top shelf. I know that in the Chinese market, presentation is everything. So you've got a little bit of information card there.
A bit about the Year of the Snake.
We've got that light pale gold cloth that it's sitting in. It's got a snake emblem inside the cask as well. So the artist is Chris Yee. He's managed to take this and create this concept. So look at that.
Amazing
now,
colour.
if you're watching the video, that's pretty special. We've got the squat bottle of whiskey, solid. Feel the weight on that. That is heavy.
Wow. Yeah.
And you've got this very colourful snake folding its way around the bottle. There we go. I can't wait to get into this. Oof. There's not. I just want to try some of this.
Let's do it.
Is there anything else you want to comment on before we try?
No, I think it's got beautiful colour. The whiskey itself is very nicely coloured. And incredible presentation, obviously. But, looking forward to trying it.
Okay, let's see if I can get in. Sometimes, the last leg is the hardest leg to get through here. This is. How good are you at opening these things?
With half a finger, not very.
You've got no, because you've lost your fingers in the art of winemaking. Okay, we need more fingernails. This is where I need my. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Have you opened bottles in desperation before? Well, let's just note that Anthony has chipped in. The red envelope in Chinese culture represents good fortune, good health, good luck. So they've paid attention to all those details. The lid itself has that nice embossing around it, a nice metallic band as well. Let's unplug it. There's a little bit of the plastic still left here. John, I thought you went all the way. Is that going to affect our pouring?
Could do.
Can you use your...
More the relationship, I think.
There we go.
There you go, just fold it back.
All right. We are about to taste this. The 23rd Street Distillery Year of the Snake Australian single malt Scotch. Oh no, we can't say Scotch, can we? Whiskey. Or can we say Scotch?
No, we can't.
We can't say Scotch. Pretend I didn't say Scotch.
Do we have to spell whiskey with an E or without the E?
I know there is no E. So it's spelled the right way. Are you ready? Guests first.
Thank you.
And I'll pour some over here as well. Oops, a little bit more went in my glass. Sorry about that, John.
It's all right.
Now, before we taste this, do you want a little drop of water in there, or you want to have a smell first?
Smell.
Okay, look at the yellow. This is
It's vibrant.
It's a vibrant, but it is actually in the, I would call this a deep yellow.
Deep yellow to gold. It's really quite metallic, golden sheen.
I guess that's what it is, isn't it? It is. I haven't seen a whiskey exactly this colour
They tend
ever
to be more
before.
red brown, aren't they?
Oh, okay. I just had a band of angels spread their wings in my head. It just went straight to my head when I inhaled that aroma. What are you getting on your nose?
Not angels.
Not angels? Oh.
There's a little bit of nuttiness, a little bit of wood, maybe some of that caramel and toffee character. You might be getting some vanilla, some sweetness. There's certainly a sweetness there on the nose. Really quite appealing. It doesn't smell hot.
No.
A lot of whiskies or spirituous drinks without any dilution smell hot and they feel hot. This one doesn't.
Are you ready for a little drop of water so we can start tasting?
Yes.
So you go first.
No, you
let me.
Thank you.
I was taught by a Scot just to put a little kiss of water in the whiskey. All right, let the volatile.
Changes the aroma.
Oh, it broadens it out. In fact, and it brought in some candy apple. I got candy apple out of nowhere. Oh, and there's something else. There's an elusive flavour. Oh, what is that? Hang on. I've got to dive. Yes. Out of nowhere. And yet there's still something else lurking there. I'm hoping it will come to me. It is a bit like those dragons that you have in the street festivals that are all wavy up and down. This is what's happening on the palate or on the nose so far. Okay. Are you ready? I think it's time to have a sip. Before we do, we must cross culture here and toast our late patron, Queen Adelaide. To the Queen.
To the Queen.
All right, here we go. It's hard to put into words. It has, if you get into a very expensive car and you lay the seats right back, that's what it felt like. It reclined itself into my palate. Is that what you got?
I got quite an intense burst of freshness on the front of the palate, and then sort of quite creamy and silky as it passes down along the palate.
And then 10 seconds later, 15 seconds later, I'm now getting a little foundation, a sponge, if you like, a little trampoline of sultana just sitting.
Dried sultanas?
Dried sultanas, just sitting on the palate. Ooh. This is not a whiskey for guzzling. This is a whiskey for really enjoying slowly, I think.
Definitely no Coke going in this.
No. See, the second sip was different again.
Your mouth is acclimatised.
Oh, I guess that's it. It's stuck more to the centre of the road, or Chinatown. It's kept itself to the centre pathway, and the people are lining the streets either side.
I find when you taste it, the initial taste moves all the way along the palate, but then after you've swallowed the mouthful, then there's a ball of aroma and mouthfeel right at the front. It sort of comes back to the front of the palate again. It sort of, there's a slight heat there from the alcohol, obviously, and it's got quite a nice lift. But there's nothing that overly dominates the palate, which I think is quite interesting. A lot of whiskies you'll find that they're either peaty or they're citrusy or they're oaky or something like that. This one, there's no one character that dominates.
I've just had a look at the notes, because I haven't looked at the actual tasting notes until I like to try it first. And here are some things it's mentioned. I think it's just named what I was looking for. So it said the nose opens with toffee and sun-dried raisins, backed by vanilla, before the palate reveals layers of butterscotch.
Butterscotch.
That's what I was getting that I couldn't name. Butterscotch and warming spices. The Galway Pipe cask influence shows through within the finish. Smooth oak, caramel notes that then linger like a good conversation. I think that's, sometimes those notes wax lyrical, but that's pretty close to what we've just experienced.
I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna have one more.
Butterscotch, honeycomb, similar kind of notes. So we were, I guess, close to the mark.
And the Year of the Snake, for those who subscribe to that, as you'll hear.
Snake.
You're a snake, are you? No, right. I'm a horse. I'm a horse, but I guess you guessed that already, didn't you?
You may have. Yeah.
The how I trot away with my mouth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Our next guest, Karen Lam, who's coming up, the main guest of the episode, who has Hong Kongese background. She says, look, it's a zodiac. It's not something that you necessarily believe is. It's like us and Gemini and Taurus, etc. But the qualities that are talked about for this year are sort of that creativity, that sustainability, that trying to do things better and having that sort of impetus in your life. And I think this whiskey is perfectly poised for the Year of the Snake.
I think so.
Now, there's only 3,599 of these bottles available, and I believe they sit around the $260 mark, and it's a very special limited edition. If you can get one, I think savouring it throughout the Year of the Snake, just slither your way down the bottle, like snakes and ladders in your whiskey cabinet.
Enjoy its freshness.
Would be good. Any closing thoughts?
Not that I can think of right now. I think,
Do you know what's happened? To me, I just finished closely on this. When, say, 3 or 4 years ago, when Australian whiskey was really hitting the straps, I still was cynical. It's whiskies like this, and not even this, even down a tier within the 23rd, is making me go, I can drink this. This is beautiful. It's developing its sophistication, and this is up there.
I think people who have been doing this for a while have been putting whiskies away and maturing them, the way they should be. And when Australian whiskies first hit the market, I think there was a lot of producers wanted to be the first one out there to release their whiskey, and so a lot of them were underdone. They were in suboptimal cask maturation conditions. They extracted a lot of oak because you put a whiskey or a spirit into an ex-wine barrel and it's going to extract a huge amount of tannin and colour very quickly. A fortified barrel, even though it's had fortified in it for 15 years, that barrel is probably still 30 or 40 years old. So in this case, you're not going to be extracting a lot of those really hard, bitter tannins out of the oak. You're not going to be extracting dark brown colours, which I think you see in this. It's beautifully golden and vibrant in colour. And the oak complements it rather than those early ones that came out. The oak was one of the dominant features, and I think this is where there's no substitute for time like time, and I think this is something that shows through pretty well.
all that's left for me to say is the 23rd Street Distillery Year of the Snake Whisky is the South Australian drink of the week and the year of the snake.